Hello, Sheldon. You guys have been waiting a while. Hi, Visionary Demand. We are, well, when I say we, I mean my moderators and me have talked. And yeah, we felt like the earlier live went really well. We're hoping tonight goes the same. If not, I think their fingers are going to be very tired. And I don't know where everybody's at. Hopefully we don't have the hiccups that we had earlier. But we're set up, ready to go. We just need peeps to show up. Is everybody excited? Hi, Josh. How are you? I hope you're doing okay. We are going to give it a minute or two for people to show up because I don't know where they're at. I'm glad to hear that you're okay. That was 7 minutes ago, y'all. I don't know what to think. Let's see. I need Messenger. Sorry, y'all. I'm playing around on my computer or on my Chromebook because I'm waiting on mods. Hello, everybody. I don't know. I don't know if I should get going and assume they're going to be here or if I should just run with it. I think I'm just going to go with it. We're going to start. I have no idea. No idea, Josh. Okay, guys. Well, Josh gives us the clue that we need, because I'm a teapot. Okay, I get it. We're gonna go ahead and get started because I don't know where people are at and I need to get started. So we're gonna start where we left off, where we left the last live, and we're gonna talk about the Vulture Aviary. There are other zoos in Europe that have Vulture aviaries. This is the one that caught my attention. It is at the Magdeburg Zoo in Germany, and it's pretty impressive. There is a walkthrough exhibit that is home to bearded vultures, palm-nut vultures, Rappel's vultures, hooded vultures, African comb ducks, African marabou storks, South African porcupines, believe it's yellow mongoose, user, do I look like Diddy? Then your comments. Removed. And Mateus 170, your comment not needed either. The zoo is making use of an area that was set aside for elephants. The zoo, basically, they're using the actual exhibit sits inside the what used to be the elephant's outdoor exhibit. They tried having secretary birds in the exhibit. Unfortunately, the secretary birds went after the mongooses and they couldn't have that, so they moved the secretary birds. The animals have 221.4 meters of indoor space. I got that wrong again. Sorry. And by the way, Josh, thank you. The animals have 221.4 feet of indoor space, or 67.5 meters of indoor space. Outside space for the animals is around 765 meters, or 2,509 meters of... I'm looking at my scripts. 2,509 feet. The aviary covers 765 meters, or 8,234 square feet. Howdy, Sheldon. It is also 8 meters tall in the center and 7 meters along the sides. That is 26 feet tall at the center and 22 feet along the sides, which is pretty cool. It is totally screened in, so the vultures are not going anywhere. The vultures can and do fly within the exhibit. The exhibit also features display areas for the mongoose and the porcupines. My understanding is that the mongooses run wild inside the exhibit. I could be wrong. It opened in 2017, and if you're wondering, yes, you can get super close to the vultures. Given the nature of the vultures, there are staff in place to keep the vultures friendly. The zoo is engaged in breeding for the vultures, which is super cool. And also, the animals can be viewed from outside the aviary if you don't want to actually go into the aviary. So that's good to know. So now I suppose the next exhibit, though, this one is by far the coolest exhibit that we're featuring today. Not that the other isn't cool, because I've never seen a walk-through Vulture aviary. So that was cool. But this one, they do have a powerful bite. This is a fairly new exhibit. It is newer than the Vulture exhibit that we just covered. This exhibit is the Galapagos exhibit from the Houston Zoo. I strongly suggest you visit Zoo Tours on YouTube and watch his Galapagos tour. Very cool. Is the lighting good, or do I need to rearrange it? So this exhibit cost $70 million to build it, and it is a beautiful exhibit. They tried to, through the rock work, make it look like the Galapagos. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. I don't know. So just something, if you do watch the video or you visited the Houston Zoo, know that the zoo only has one animal, maybe two, that actually live on the Galapagos. All of the others are stand-ins, meaning that a species of their animals live in or around the Galapagos. Now, the only time that may be what I just said may be different is in the large reef tank that they have. Animals that are definitely stand-ins are the California sea lions and the Humboldt penguins that we'll talk about later. But let's sort of, one of the first thing that's really going to kick off Izzy Get Busy. Who's the miss? I have seen baby tortoises. Izzy, who's the miss? And do you need glasses? I'm just asking. Do you need glasses? I guess you need glasses. Anyway. Okay, that's different. The exhibit kicks off with sea lions. And then from the sea lions, you move into the Galapagos building. So the first thing that you're going to see when you get into the building are the Galapagos tortoises. And the display is beautiful. This is where you also get to visit with some of the other animals inside the building. By the way, in case I didn't say it, you can see the Galapagos tortoises outside and inside. Next up are the iguanas, and yes, the zoo doesn't house the marine iguanas or the land iguanas that you would see in the Galapagos Islands. Instead, they house Cayman Islands blue iguanas, and they actually get natural sunlight. Inside a cave within the building, you're also going to get challenged a little bit. And the challenge I'm giving you is to look for crabs. Sally Lightfoot crabs, like this guy. They have statues placed all over the exhibit, sort of like Easter eggs for you to look for. So after the reptiles, you're going to go down a hallway to another chance Izzy, another comment like that, and my wonderful moderator is going to give you the boot. You're welcome to stay, but not talking like that. And if that's the case, you probably need to see a doctor. And that would be a really weird conversation to have, don't you think? Hey, Carol, Izzy likes boots. Yeah, they are sort of a shore crab. They commonly can be found, at least on the islands, they can be found with the iguanas. But here at the zoo, because they can't actually use the actual iguanas or the actual crabs from the islands, because you can't do that, they have crabs from other locations. You can go down that tunnel and see the sea lions over your head, beside you, within a 40-foot tunnel. There's the next area, part of the exhibit, I should say, is an educational area about the plastics that you find in the ocean. Fun fact, the sea turtles like to eat jellyfish, and sometimes the reason being is that they can't, within the Galapagos, or in order to protect the Galapagos, they have laws set up that you can't remove wildlife from the islands. And so, since they can't house the marine iguanas or the land iguanas, they display the Cayman Island blue iguanas, while educating you about the other iguanas. So here in this hallway of oceanic plastic, they also house sea nettles. And those are really cool. Thank you, Carol. Had to be a 12-year-old. Next up is a tank representing the Galapagos Islands. And this is where you're going to see a lot of corals, fake coral, all designed based on corals that actually live around the Galapagos. There are sharks, rays, I believe there's a sea turtle. I think it's a green, if I'm not mistaken, as well as a bunch of reef fish. Next up is a trumpet fish, which is related to almost said starfish, and that would be wrong. Related to seahorses. Next, and we're almost to the end, we have the Humboldt penguins. And usually, in a lot of other zoos, the penguins are outside. At least the warm weather penguins, of which the Humboldts are sort of a warm weather penguin. These guys are protected not only from the heat, because it does get hot in Texas, they also are kept safe from mosquitoes. And mosquitoes could pass West Nile. They are also protected from, hopefully, bird flu, which is a problem in some zoos, or has been a problem with some zoos. The Houston Zoo does do projects in the Galapagos, which is totally incredible. And while many zoos do projects elsewhere in the world, this zoo wants you to know how they're involved in these projects, and they want you to know that your ticket pays for these projects. Yeah, I think there are zoos with the delis. I know some zoos have gentoos. I don't think they have octopi, Josh. I don't think they have octopi. Oh, I'm sorry, Josh, you were talking to Cook. So, that was it for the actual live itself. I opened the door to other questions, comments. Tomorrow's live is going to be a little bit different. It is scheduled for 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. The 6 p.m. is normal time, and again, this is Central Standard Time. So 2 p.m. Central Standard Time and 6 p.m. for regular live. For what, Mike? I have no idea what that means. I hope that means you're excited for Saturday. Saturday's topics is exploring nature. Josh. I don't think so, Sheldon. The Galapagos are the islands? I don't think so. I'm not. Sunda, I think, is the Pacific. Nope, I'm not explaining. Mike, all I'm going to say, fling meaning that we're not talking about in here. And I don't know, maybe that's not the way you said it. But yeah. That could be, but we're not explaining any more than that. I'm assuming you have an internet. You can look it up. Sheldon, I'm sorry. Those are in Indonesia, Sheldon. The Sunda Islands are part of Indonesia. And the other island, I have to look up. The Weetar Islands, or how I hope I pronounced that right, they are also in Indonesia. So they're both in Indonesia. Oh no, I hope. Did I answer your questions, Sheldon? I've heard of Sunda, but not the other. And I thought that's where it might be from, but thank you, thank you. Yeah. So that, you're welcome, man. Um, I really, really enjoyed the earlier live. That was a blast. I can imagine. But I bet you there's nature around. You may not see it, but it's there. No, I bet you there's insects and spiders and birds. That's nature. I'm lost. Hey, the little things are nature too. Now, the rats are invasive, I'm assuming. So that doesn't count. Not too big. Ooh, house centipedes are cool. We used to get them inside the school every once in a while. They're actually really beneficial in homes. Yup, yup, I'm all about that, Sheldon. Yeah, but the house centipedes eat other little things. Yeah, I can see them getting into a pool. Um, it it's kind of crazy just how nature can thrive even in a big city. Ooh, why is that? There is, I know within Chicago, yeah, sometimes they just need a chance to dry out. That no. Falcons are guys. It doesn't matter what color he is. He's a person in my life. That's all that matters. Seriously. It doesn't matter. Not in my life. Well, if he wanted to tell you, he would tell you. Because you've already asked more than once. I guess I can understand that, but really doesn't matter. Not in the internet. Um, it's true, it can. I don't understand why it did it, but Sheldon, Josh, do you have any questions for me? Oh, that is so cool. The only place I have ever found an antler, and it was a little one, maybe about that big, was in a graveyard. Yeah, my dad was there looking for the gravestone of a relative, and my eagle eyes was like, I know what that is. So I grabbed it. I wish I had it still, but I don't. No idea what happened to it. I had the strangest taste for curry. Yeah, mine wasn't even that big. I want curry. Darn it. The video that I was talking about earlier is up and ready. I have to do the other one. Hi, Macy. Mine was just like straight up. So it must have been like a young male, a young buck, because it was just one little tine. with nothing else to it. Got to do what we got to do. Older than the one that I found, that's for sure. I need a fossil expert to help me with my fossils. I bet you they love them. Just make sure that when you pick them, that you know where they're coming from. You don't want to get something that's been sprayed. That would not be good. They might be. Mike, it's honey badger. I think he got an R by mistake. Yeah. I need to remember to do the I need to remember to do the polls more often than I do. 13 votes. I'm curious to see where we're at. 80, most of you guys have not. 15% watched it. Cool. I do it, Sheldon. I'm guilty of that. Guys, we probably will only be on for another for 13 minutes. Yup. There is one. I'm surprised you can see it. It is, believe it or not very heavy. And yet it takes up a lot of space. Anyway, that's the hermit crab. Hi, Highways 21. I'm going to move him because I'm not happy with where he's at. I do remember Wild America. I loved that show as a kid. I had very much respect for the host. Marty, I think his name was. Not really, I don't. I'll be honest. Yeah, I haven't seen it. He was awesome. Him and Attenborough, completely awesome guys. Yeah, that man is a legend. That man is an absolute legend. Both of those men, absolute legends. David, maybe more so, but I believe it, Mike. I believe it. Oh, man. I am going to be bad. I am craving noodles right now. I think I'm going to cook some egg noodles and put some butter with them and sprinkle them with, maybe I'll do spaghetti. I don't know. Blue Planet is I think he did Blue Planet. That's one of my favorites. I'm sorry, Sheldon. Food is like me, all of them. There isn't an animal on this planet that I don't like. Nope. Can't. Can't choose. I'm going to pretend like I didn't see that. I can't choose. I don't think that'll. Well, at the rate the US is going, maybe. We might have to choose. I'm actually gonna do probably. It's supposed to be out, I think, Sunday. Is it Sunday? I don't know if it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But I'm gonna do some of my cook. Just remember, we don't really do politics. So everybody, remember, we don't talk about politics. Basically. The only real politics that we're going to get into on this channel, I don't like it, Captain ET. I don't really like it. I love nature on PBS, but I haven't seen it in forever. I need to figure out when it's on up here so I can watch it. If it's on Wednesday nights, that's a nope. No, because Captain ET, were you here for this afternoon's live? My tag comment. The problem with what they're doing is, how do you put those animals back into the wild? As we talked about it earlier. Oh, that's because the other stuff isn't important. It wouldn't fit it, so that's why. If you were here in the 1 p.m. live, we talked about this. The so-called dire wolves that they created are basically gray wolves that they played with. that they went in and they flipped some switches on the DNA. Yeah. They want to fill a niche. And unfortunately, if they release these animals that they played with the genetics on into the wild, it's going to mess up the DNA of the wild wolves. So it's not a good thing. The animals that they did create are in a preserve of some kind. And when I hear preserve, I hear zoo. I don't really like it. So that is my take on it. I know, E.T., I probably didn't answer your question, but if you want to hear more about it, Captain E.T., check out my live from 1 p.m. today. We talked about it quite a bit. Just saying. Yeah, they're not, like Carol says, they're not really dire wolves. They're amped up wolves, basically. It was a good one. It was a really good one. Unfortunately, my phone, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was YouTube or my phone or what, but totally messed up. I don't even know how much. I have no idea because I didn't even know they were going to do them. Like that, it caught me off guard. It took, I don't know, they don't say. It took 62 days from the time that the embryos were implanted into these surrogate dogs until the pups were born. They identified 20 key genetic differences between dire wolves and gray wolves, and they inserted genetic material into the dog egg cells, which developed into embryos, and these embryos were then implanted into surrogate dogs, and the pups were born 62 days later. Well, we know that they're working on mammoths, and we know they're working on the Tasmanian tiger. But that's about it. We don't know. I don't know anything else besides that. And I wish they would quit saying, I wish people would stop saying they've made a species de-extinct. It's not actual dire wolves. And they said that themselves. Similodon would be cool. Stellar sea cow would be amazing. No, Sheldon, you couldn't use Siberian tigers. At least not. They're not a good match for. You might be able to use them for like a surrogate. But as far as DNA goes, probably a clouded leopard. I would love to see passenger pigeons. I don't know if there's giant mosquitoes. I know there's really big my thing is, I'm with Carol. The further back you go, the less DNA there is to work with. So there were dragonflies. There were dragonflies that had a 2.5-foot wingspan and bodies that may have been up to 17 inches long. No. This type of Jurassic Park, no. Not dinosaurs. Maybe a Cenozoic park? Maybe a Cenozoic park, but not a Jurassic. I think the prehistoric insects, we are our climate is too cold and the gases are too different in the environment to sustain the giant insects. When Jurassic Park first came out, about 2 years after it came out, there was a show on PBS. And they were talking about Jurassic Park happening today. And they had a paleontologist who was talking about the possibility of a Jurassic Park happening. And he said at the time that the only thing stopping us from doing it is the money and the ethics. And that is scary, if that's true. Because nowadays, the ethics are gone. I feel like. Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt about that, Josh. Probably bacteria, although they're not animals. Captain E.T., when I was in college, they were animals. That goes to show you how long ago I went to college. Amoebas aren't producers. They don't have chlorophyll. I don't know where. Protista. They're in the kingdom Protista. Amoebas didn't. Thank you, thank you. Now the real question is, when I was in school, there were questions on viruses being alive. Thank you, Carol. I wonder. Why is that not uploaded? Anyway, guys, I don't know what's going on with my live. It looks like it's frozen. I guess not. Guys, I'm gonna go. I need to eat. Be good, everybody. I will see you in the next one. Sometime tomorrow. It's posted, or it will be posted. Video will be coming up as soon as live is over. I thought it was posted. It has not been posted yet. Thank you for coming out, everybody. Be good. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. There you go. That's the end result of the live or the poll. Talk to you guys later.